Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pocket Change 77. I'm not going to
That's
mess it up.
right.
Stuck on
77.
30. Yes. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, you realize that I was thinking, I was like, good Lord, a year is 52 weeks.
right.
We've been at this over a year. I think we do put out generally two a week.
Oh, we just started that near the end. We
Yeah,
started middle of August. So, middle of August was a year. So,
that's what I was thinking. There are two still out there floating around somewhere. Of course, Ben says he's got them gone. That were
they're
our
gone.
horrible first attempts at doing this. So we've gotten much better. You might want to don't start now if you're
No,
watching
go
this
back to
one.
the beginning and look
Yeah,
at our
yeah,
progress. And then
exactly.
they were like, they got actually worse. What? We thought we were getting better.
Yeah, yeah. Don't start now and go backwards. What you need to do is go start with episode 1 and come forward because we have
And we'll
gotten
see you in 76 episodes. And then you go, let's this. All right, turn it off. Go watch the other ones. The first 37 are just audio, but
right.
you
You
can,
can listen to those, but
the minds of that TV.
there is a good amount of information in there, ladies and gentlemen. Because honestly, for about the first 30 episodes was where I was speculating on a lot of stuff, and Ben's was saying no, do it this way. And it was a whole lot of there's a lot of stuff in there that helped me get started really well to start with. So you need to go if you're just starting, definitely go listen to it. And of course, hit the like, subscribe, and we appreciate you stopping by this morning at noon for lunch. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Either way, we're glad you're here. However, you're either listening to us on Spotify or Apple iTunes or watching us here with our vlog on YouTube. It has been a great week, excellent week. So I am celebrating a little bit here. Got my nice cup here. If you do not have a tumbler, ladies and gentlemen, from AAA, you need to do whatever it takes to get one from your local AAA unit because here's the thing. These things make the best drinking cup you'll ever have. It keeps the ice in it just absolutely perfect temperature. It's really good. So I'm going to celebrate a little bit of great week. We're going to let Ben's talk here for a few minutes to tell us about his week and the sales he made. And then hopefully I'll still be around to talk to you about mine. Go ahead, Ben's. Kick us off.
All right, I'll kick you. I'll kick you in the to hoot. So, just giving a quick overview of where I am with listings. I am started the week about. No, I started with 100 a day. That didn't happen. Pie in the sky, but
Hey, did you hear that, Mike? It might be a little tough to list 100 a day. Mike was like, I'd love to see you list 100 a day.
the best I did was 53 or 57 on yesterday.
That's
I just
still
did,
moving. Wow.
Mhm. And today I did a bunch. The last time on Friday, I was at 2,515. No, 2,513. And right now I'm at 2,616. So I did 103 since
Friday.
midnight Friday. So Saturday, between Saturday and today, yesterday and today.
Wow.
I probably could have done more today, but I've realized that I am only focused for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, I'm like, I'm bored with this. And then I go, I don't know, make spaghetti sauce or
Wait a minute. So you're telling me you're getting 30 to 50 in 2 hours? So 100 would be possible
100 would be
if.
possible. It is 100% possible. I'm sure it is. Today, actually, I spent about 3.5 hours on it, and I did 57 yesterday, so it's 103, so that'd be 47,
Somewhere
something
around
like
there. No,
that. I did 47 in 4 hours. So if I
you
could
said
stay more
3.
focused,
You said 3. You worked on about 3 hours today. 3.5 hours. So
three and
now,
three and a half hours. Oh, and then I packed in there at the same time. I packed my packages. I don't know if I count that as working or not. So probably
so
3 hours on this, and then an hour on packing packages.
so wait, 100 is possible. Hey, Mike, we need to get a hold of Ben's here and make sure that we stay on him. We're going to have to micromanage him.
That's something I want to do. I ran out today and ran to the storage unit, and then I stopped and got biscuit gravy. Came home, ate the biscuit gravy. Yeah, went out, sat by the pool, had a couple beers because it's Sunday. You got to relax a little. Then I came in and I hit it for 3 hours. Probably I hit it for 2 hours hard, and then the last hour I was fiddle farting around. Decided I needed some ice, so I ran out to the store and got ice.
Ben's, we don't need to know about you and your wife. We need to know about your eBay stuff.
What are
Coming
you
in and
talking
hitting
about?
it hard for about 3 hours is we don't need to know about.
I'm 51. I ain't hitting nothing hard for 3 hours. That'd be too much damn work.
He's
Come
gonna
on,
cut
get
that
right.
out, ladies and gentlemen.
You're the
Yeah,
one that brought up the dirty-minded one. It finally pops up. It's not me. It's you. But no, I just need to sit down and do more. I did list easy stuff, good stuff, and some good money stuff, and a couple of those things sold right away. So on Friday,
so
I showed you that hat on Pick and Pass. I had two; they both sold. So both of them
yeah,
for
it
50
sold
bucks.
quick too. One
First one
sold.
sold in 2 hours. The other one ended up with 11 watchers. And actually, I gave a 5% discount on it just because I had 11 watchers. I'm like, you know what? I'll knock 5% off, and somebody took it. So I could have waited, but I need the money.
That's true. Let's move into that. So we're examining here, ladies and gentlemen, how his week's been as his forced first full time week of eBay reselling as his job.
Yeah,
He
so I started the week with 2,400. I ended the week at 2616. But I did that includes multiple quantities that I put in there, so I'm not counting that because my quantity total, which I had no duplicates, I only had singles. If you look at the quantity, I'm at 20.
sweet. So how has your now the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to go ahead and say this: the last week of Benz's work, not this past week, his first week in reselling full time, but his previous week was the last week of his job.
Yep.
He is currently doing interviews. We talk about it almost every day. But here's the other thing. That was his last week. He did not have time, and so he really didn't list anything, and he did not sell similar at all that week.
They didn't do anything.
So without doing that, tell us about your sales this week and where you
Yeah.
ended up and that kind of thing.
So last week I was like under 200 bucks, right? So I didn't do anything. I didn't sell anything. This week I started listing Monday and going pretty hardcore. And I listed 250 things this week. Through Wednesday I wasn't selling, and then I had some good days. I don't have that brought up, but I sold like $130 on Thursday, $200 on Friday, Saturday. I sold. I don't know what I sold, but I know if I sold total for the week, 600 bucks, and basically did that in the last 4 days of the week.
And there's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna put forth a new theory. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I am with my theories. And some of you are like, God, another theory. But here's a theory. We always have the one that's proved, so it's a law. And that's
Yeah,
if you don't list, you don't sell. If you're not listing, you're
you're
going
not
down,
selling.
you're not selling, because even if you've got things out there, you're going to sell some things, but you're really not going to sell that much. And then it's going to tinker down to where you're not selling anything. I tried that. I did that for a month. And by the end of the month, I was selling nothing. Absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
I like your second law.
No, we'll get to that here in a minute.
You list what you
You
sell what
sell
you
what
list.
you list. Yeah. Yeah. We'll get to that here again. We're going to take another stab at that. We need some help rephrasing that, ladies and gentlemen. Please write in and help me rephrase that because it just sounds so corny. But so the law is, and it's a law, it's not a theory. So I'm presenting another theory that possibly, because generally what Benz and I saw in the past was if you didn't list for one day, it took 2 days to get the momentum going back on the
Yeah,
algorithm. That was the general kind of rule. But what we see here is he took a whole week off basically where he did not sell somewhere. He still sold a few things because he's got so many items out there, but he wasn't selling similar. He wasn't relisting. He wasn't listing anything new for a whole week. And so the first of the week as he started off, Monday and Tuesday, he didn't sell hardly anything. I shot way ahead of him Monday and Tuesday because I had a great week, best week I've ever had. Shot way ahead of him. Wednesday, he sold like one small item, and I was kicking his butt still.
you were.
I
You're gonna
was,
have a better week than me. And
yeah, and
I'm listing like crazy. This makes no sense. It's not
but
fair.
Thursday he came roaring back, and he ended up by the end of Thursday night he was ahead of me. Friday he crushed me, and Saturday he put me out of my mercy. So my new theory is the amount you list may also, over a period of time, consistently shorten your comeback period. So in other words, if you don't list for a week, maybe you go on vacation for a week and you just don't list anything, you don't do anything, you don't put the store on vacation mode, or you put it on vacation mode, you just leave it alone. You come back, you want to get your momentum going back up. The theory now, based on what we're seeing with Ben's, is possibly that the amount of things you list consistently, so instead of 10 items, you list 20, 30, 40, up in the 50s, can help overcome some of that time frame coming back. So maybe it's not. Maybe it shortens it down to 1 day for 1 day. I don't know. That's a working theory right now because I was amazed. At first, I was amazed. I was like, Ben and I were talking. I was like, hey, buddy, it's okay. You didn't list anything last week. You can expect this. It'll probably be, I'll bet by next week, you're going to come back with a vengeance because it's going to take about a week or so to get back going. And by Thursday, it was, what was the old adding? Boom, someday, Alice, boom, zoom to the moon.
Yeah, sold that many things. I only sold 17 items, but my average sale price was $35. I did the math. So net, I put in my pocket after I take out all my fees and everything this week, including cost of inventory, is 366.66. A lot of sixes.
That might be too many sixes.
No, it's one. It's just enough because if it would have been like 66, it's got four sixes, not just three. So that's a plus. I think. I don't know.
Anyway, so that was your net was almost $400.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
need
you
my
really
net
and you
to be
didn't sell
around
but
$1,100 a week.
you didn't sell but 17 items.
Yeah.
So let's do a little bit of math there, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to go over the model. That's on Picker Pass. But just to do the math right there, he says he's got 26, 16.
About a 16. Let's say 1,700 real items, and the rest is cards. So it's
Okay.
about one for 100.
So
So I'm about
26,
halfway.
26, 16, he should have sold 52 items. But again, that's cards, and that obscures it a little bit. So we're going to put, so
It's half.
it's 34. You
Yeah.
should have
So
sold
I did half.
34 items for a week. So you did half of that. But here's the other kicker, too. The model that Ben's going off of, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you of this. He reached the 1,700 at the end of the week. So
Yeah.
next week we should see a huge, because the thing is it's based on your previous number list on his model. So again, we probably need to explain that a little bit more in depth on our next pick or pass a little bit. Just take a shot at it, quick shot at it, try to explain a little bit more. But whereas I am absolutely killing it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my week. The 1 out of 50 is non-existent for me. I am struggling to not fall backwards.
Yeah.
Um,
You're a big fish in a small pond.
I've literally over 100 items. I hit like 112, and I'm now setting at like 106, 106 items. Already done my listings for today. I am literally falling backwards. I'm working and I'm trying to get. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna start listing more because I can't climb to the. It's hard to climb to the 620 with my model with continuously selling more than I'm listing. And I'm going, good God. So, a great week. My best week ever. I did $180.
That's awesome, dude.
I did $180. No, the best week before this week, I did $180 gross, which netted me around $120, somewhere right around there. This week, I did
Oh wow.
$232 gross and netted $156. That's after fees. That's after everything. That's after paying for the items. I got $153. Yeah, and then and we go. That's not. You're not going to support yourself on that. No joke. But to climb from where I was, where my month was about 90 to $100 for the whole month, to where in 1 week I did more than I was doing in a month. It's
Yes.
incredible. So I'm like, holy crap. So great week. Got items. Now comes the fun part of packing them down. I've been packing them as we go along. Feedback is up to 49 now. So I'm headed for that 100 mark so I can get that top seller badge because I really want that. And you got to have 100 feedback, positive feedback to get that. I know Ben's has already got his long ago, but I'm trying to get mine now. I'm getting serious about it. It does help. If you go back and watch our previous episode, sending out the little letters helps tremendously with getting feedback going and getting followers. Phenomenal week. And it ended up being a phenomenal week for you, too. I don't think
Yeah.
it's your best week ever, but
It's not by far my best week ever, but you know what? I'm very pleased with what happened.
that's good stuff. My buddy Phil, if you ever come across this video, haven't talked to you in a long time, buddy, but it still tastes like bananas. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a running joke. I fixed him a drink one time, and he was like, "What are you drinking?" I was like, "I'm drinking Mountain Dew and Jack." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try that." And then we tasted it. He was
Mountain
like,
Dew and Jack Daniels.
"Yeah," he's like, "That tastes like bananas." Now I'm a little older, so now it's Diet Mountain Dew. And what's that one? Black Velvet? Yeah, cheaper.
So you're broke. No, I've been there. Although Black Velvet, I was drinking Black Velvet. That was my go-to. But Lord Calvert, which when I was younger, There was like we hung out with a bunch of buddies. We either drank Jack Daniels or Lord Calvert. Those were the two big ones when I was a kid. I was a Jack Daniels guy. I don't know why, but now I drink Lord Calvert, and it's only $15 for the big bottle. I'm like, it's like it didn't increase since I was a child. I think it's cheaper now than it was when I was in high school.
Still more expensive than Black Velvet.
Not here. Black Velvet here is 1975. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not that expensive here.
So I
But
need to move there so I can drink cheaper, huh? That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying, whatever. Anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, get back to reselling. It's been a great week, and I'm looking forward to this week. I am getting things again. My son's coming this coming Saturday, and hopefully we're going to get this wall. I've got to get it prepped this week, get this wall torn out, and be at least somewhat in the new eBay office. It may not be completely set up, but by the time we record another one of these on Sunday night, I'm hoping to be in it and somewhat operational. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, but we're headed there. So what else we got? We got our buyers of the week. We got our buyers.
Yeah, but I didn't get the. I didn't say my favorite sale of the week. You
Oh
did.
yeah. Go ahead. No, I didn't get to say my favorite sale. Go ahead. I'm gonna bring that up on my end. Benz, go ahead and tell us about your favorite sale of the week.
I think my favorite sale of the week were the two hats. I sold two vintage logo Ralph Lauren hats. One was shipping was $49. The other one was shipping was $38. I gave them 5% off, and they were close by, so it was cheap shipping for them. But I listed those yesterday. One sold in 2 hours, and the other one sold this morning. So I paid up for those hats because I had had it before, and I ended up selling it. I paid $4 a piece for them because I knew they were worth money, and so $8 turned into, after all was said and done, about $80. So I like that.
Sweet.
I had bigger sales, but I like those ones.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just logged in and I've got a correction to make. I am no longer at 49 feedback. I have a teal star.
Yes, you hit 50.
I hit 50. So I'm no longer a little gold star. I am a teal star, and I'm still at 100% positive feedback, ladies and gentlemen. So that's awesome. Woohoo!
I'm still a teal star too, so we're at the same level.
Not technically, because the next star doesn't change colors till what, 1,000? 500? 500?
Maybe 500. I'm at like 387.
I think it's 500. It changes colors again. But now you have your top seller badge too, right?
Yeah, I'm a top seller. Where's the badge at?
You're supposed to have a little thing beside your star that says you're a top seller.
Yeah, I don't see that.
We'll check it out here in just a minute. Let me tell about my favorite sell. My favorite sell this week was definitely, I've already talked about it a little bit. It was selling a pocket watch chain, ladies and gentlemen, that I was going to sell for $2, and it sold for $14.99 because eBay was like, no, this is worth $14.99. I was like, I got nothing to lose by listing $14.99, and it literally sold. That was awesome, and it sold to Nova Loves to Buy. So Nova, if you ever come across this video, thank you so much, sweetheart. I hope the chain is absolutely what you were looking for, and I appreciate very much the ability to sell that to you.
See, I would have assumed Nova would be a man.
No, I'm pretty sure.
It's a car.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a female. I could be wrong. I don't know what he or she identifies as. So if I'm wrong, Nova, please forgive me. We've never met, so I don't know what your pronouns are.
That was the point. I was just saying. I would have assumed the name Nova was a guy.
Nova, if you are listening on our program, you can send us.
I don't want to debate whether he has a penis or not.
You can send an email to cjbensfinds.com at gmail.com and let us know, and we will address you appropriately. But anyway, Nova was not my favorite buyer this week.
Okay, who's your favorite buyer?
My favorite buyer was BRSM 172-786. And BRSM underscore 172-786 is a fellow reseller. And I know all the time I'm like, do not buy on eBay and sell on eBay. But he seems to do all right. And what he does, and I'm gonna give a shout out to him. What he does is he buys in bulk from eBay sellers. So he will give you a lot of offers on a lot of different things, and he gave me quite a few offers. I thought we were headed to another one of those dollar offer guys was going to offer me $1 on every stinking item in the store, and I was going to take it this time, but he didn't. But on about 12 different things, he made an offer, and we ended up accepting just a small portion of that, less than half. He did 12, and I actually accepted 5. I fully expect what I sold him to be listed on his selling site here probably within the next week or two. And it'll be for a higher price than what he paid for him because I took an offer. I'm not ashamed to say that. A lot of times, I've called Ben's before and said, "Should I take that offer? I'm really thinking about no." And he's like, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
What do you got in it?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's worth that today." He's like, "But dude, it's
Who
like,
cares what it's worth? What you pay for it and how
yeah,
much can you make? You're
right,
done. Moving
right."
on. Flip that money.
So Brian Wilson, no, not Brian Wilson. Brian, what's his name? Brian Smith,
Brian
SM,
Wilson, he's a BG, not a
Brian,
PG.
Beach Boy, Brian Smith, BRSM underscore 172786. Great guy and paid quickly. So, what was your favorite, our favorite buyer of the week? What was your favorite buyer of the week, Vince?
My favorite buyer of the week was RG Special because he's cool, right? He bought a pack of tarot cards for me. He's in Miami. He's not a seller. He's just a buyer. But he sent me a note Saturday afternoon and said, "Hey man, what's this doing in Wisconsin?" And I'm like, "What?" So I looked it up. So he's in. I'm in Sun City. He's in Miami. It's a 4-hour drive. I could have drove it there, maybe had a drink and drove home, but it somehow got sorted wrong and it ended up in Wisconsin. So I just told him, I said, "Well, I looked it up. They must have missorted it. I'm really sorry." Because he's this is in Wisconsin. What do we do? I'm like, "Yeah, we do nothing. We sit and wait." I have another. It's decks of cards, tarot cards that I bought a few of. He bought the second to last one. I took the other one, took it off eBay. I'm holding it and told him to say, "Hey, give it. Let's give it. I'll track it. You track it. And if it doesn't show up, I'll send you a new one." And he was like, "Yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you so much." He says, "But I was doing a seance tonight and he needed the tarot cards for the seance tonight." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I mean, you can send them back." He's like, "No, I don't want to send them back. I just didn't know what to do. I've been looking at it. I've been watching it." And it went like went to Chicago. Now it's in Wisconsin. I
Yeah,
have no idea what's
I
going on with that.
I have one that was like that. That I don't know what the
But I
usually has.
want to thank him for not being like, "Hey, this is your fault
Mm-hmm.
because you shipped it to me." No, he bought it. I shipped it that same day out to him. And just it went wrong. And he's been very cool. I might be next week saying he's the ass of the week, but I doubt it. Because he's complaining. I watch a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's one of them that does the return of the week, and I'm like, and they always have returns. I'm like, what are you guys doing wrong that you
Yeah,
have this many freaking returns? That you can talk about return of the week every week. Knock on wood, I've had a few returns, but
I don't
you have
know.
to be doing something wrong and saying something. You have to
Yeah,
be misrepresenting something if you're getting returns every week. I'm just saying.
yeah, something's not quite right there. I'm just going to tell you, Leslie, because I have had I've had 2 returns.
Hmm.
Now they were non-shipped returns, and non-shipped. I want to make sure I'm putting that p on there. Non-shipped returns, which means basically they wanted to cancel before it was
That's not a return.
before
That's
it
a
was shipped.
cancellation. This
What
is
it
they
still
ship
counts?
them out, and
It
then they're
still
like,
counts
"Oh,
as a return on your eBay stats. They still
it doesn't
count that
matter
as
though." But I don't count that as a return. They're talking about, "Hey, I shipped them something, and they found something wrong with it, and they had
and
to send it
shipped
back."
it back. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing wrong on that because,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to comment or speculate because who knows? You've had returns, I've had returns,
No, I
returns according
agree,
to
but
eBay.
I
I've
don't
not
think we
had one yet where it went out and came back.
have. I've had that happen on a belt buckle that the guy got, and he's, "Oh, it's smaller than I expected." Every belt buckle I have, there's measurements on it, so I don't understand how that happened. I had another thing, which you know what, you never break the rules, but somebody last year near Christmas, he was like, "Hey, I ordered it, but I want to go to my daughter. I didn't change the address. Can you change the address?" So I went to Pirate Ship. Pirate shipped it and said, "Yeah, man, I usually don't, but because it's the holidays, I want to make sure she gets it." Guess what? He gave me the wrong address. So it went all the way to Missouri and then got brought back. And then it showed up at my door. I'm like, "What?" And so I sent him a note and he said, "Yeah, I had the address wrong." I'm like, "Okay, can you send it out again?" I'm like, "Okay, but now it was children's 45s. It was like a pack of 8 that I sold for $10 that was like $6 to ship. So I ended up reshipping it. I didn't make any money on it. Hopefully, I made that customer happy, but
I
that
would
was his
not.
fault.
I'd have just given him his money back on that. I just said, no, I can't ship this out again because I it was not a high value enough item. So I'm just going to give you your money back, and I'll give you his money back minus the shipping. I'm like, sorry,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
whatever. It worked out, but don't break the rules. Don't. And I tell people, and I know that. Don't. If they buy it, and it's the wrong address. I had somebody do that this week. They bought something. It was a Rolex spoon that was like a $10 item, and then they were like, "Hey, I got the wrong address in there. Can you send it to this address?" I told them, "Absolutely not. Just, let's cancel it. I'll relist it, and you can rebuy it." And they were like, "Okay, that sounds good." And I undervalued that spoon because I looked it up, and $10 seemed to be the going price. And then
I
I
told you had
delisted it.
I had told you undervalued that because I recognized that what it
I
was.
relisted it, and it sold to a different person like in an hour. And then I went and looked it up again. It was like a $39 spoon.
Yeah,
Oh, what happened?
yeah. I told you were too low on that item. We talked about that item specifically, and I
I
was like,
sold.
you are too low on that item. But whatever, those things happen, ladies and gentlemen, where you're too low or now you're too high, it won't sell. But if
I've been too high before, and then you just list all kinds of crazy stuff. Just smoke a little bit. No, I don't smoke weed. I'm just kidding.
a totally different subject. But I want to talk about eBay returns. It gives us a good segue into it because I bought and I buy stuff on eBay, and you guys should be too buying stuff. I'm gonna have to check and see, make sure it was refunded. But I bought some things from this guy. They're little. I wish I could show them. Dust caps, love them. Okay, so basically what happened was I bought them. He shipped them free shipping, which I always say is crazy. Free shipping's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do free shipping because it gives you no tracking. Sure enough, what did he do? Put them in an envelope, a regular envelope, hand wrote our address on it, two stamps, and sent them out. First batch gone. He was like, and I was like, hey man, I've not received these. And I bought this back the 1st of August, not received them, man. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. Give it a few more days. So I gave it a few more days.
They're not going to work through the mail
And
because they're too thick. It's got to be less than a quarter of an inch
I still didn't get
to go
them.
through the mail.
Still didn't get them. So I messaged him and I was like, dude, or he messaged me, have you got them yet? So he's a great seller. I'm going to give you his name here in just a minute. He's a pretty good seller. He's just, yeah, I think he's new. But he was like, hey, man, have you gotten them? I was like, no, I haven't gotten them. He's like, I'm going to send you out some more. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to send you out some more. I was like, okay. I was like, I'll give it another 2 weeks. Around September the 1st, I was like, I still not received them. Okay. So last week, I filled out a request with eBay because I tried to contact him. He didn't answer me back. And he didn't answer me back till 2 days later. I tried messaging him, and then I filled out a thing 24 hours later with eBay because he didn't message me back. Then he messaged me back. He's, man, I've sent him out. Let's give him a little more time if you don't mind. I'm like, sure, whatever. We'll wait a little while longer. But eBay has this thing where they automatically refund by a certain date if the seller has not provided tracking information, which he could not provide tracking information on it whatsoever because he did free shipping and he put it in an envelope, put stamps on it. Now, how do I know that? Because today, now on the 12th, eBay gave me my money back. eBay was like, seller failed to provide required information, and so we've refunded your money. Now, I've not checked to see. He's not responded, but today I went to the mailbox, which my mail runs on 7 days a week here in Greensboro, and we usually check it about 3 or 4 times a week. I went to the mailbox today, and it was in there.
Oh,
And I'm like, and sure enough, and I ought to go upstairs and get it so I can just show it to you and go, this was ludicrous. So now I'm faced with a dilemma. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact him back, and I'm going to rebuy the item, and he's going to mark it delivered.
yeah,
That's what I'm going to tell him to do because number one, he's an eBay reseller, but
yeah,
number two, he's a human being as well. I don't want to rip him off because I'm going to tell you something. This business, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what business you're in. You can call it God, you can call it karma, you can call it whatever. It's going to kick you in the ass if you don't do what's right. I have now received an item. I should
yeah,
pay for them. So I'm going to contact him back. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to buy the item. You go ahead and mark it delivered, all right? Because it did come. I finally got it here, 7 weeks later. And that's just the right thing to do.
yeah, yeah.
But
No,
the,
I agree.
the mistake that he made was he's just trying to get started.
Is it in an envelope? Just a plain little
Just a
envelope.
plain envelope.
Did he use eBay envelope like sticker, or he actually just
No,
put stamps
just
on it? Oh.
just an envelope with stamps on it. And I'm going to send him a message and say, look, you need to come over and watch. You need to come over and watch Pocket Change
You
because
should ask him to come on here because I want to. And if he does that, look, okay, so maybe that's his model, and he sells a lot of this small stuff, and he ships it out, and he pays. Well, how many stamps he put on there? Two,
I think it's 3.
three. So it's a buck,
Yeah,
40 cents,
thereabout.
$1.20.
Yeah.
So he gets his items. He pays $1.20. Uh, I am perplexed with that right now because I have a bunch of stuff that I've been listing that is little, and they're selling it for $11.95 free shipping. So I've got to price myself because it weighs 4 ounces. It's less. It weighs an ounce, but it weighs 4 ounces. That's the smallest you can buy. So you're talking minimum like
Mm-hmm.
$5 to ship. So I'm listing it for $4.95 plus shipping. So I end up at $9.95. So I'm cheaper than everybody, and I can sell it.
Right.
But I was doing one today, and it was completely flat. So I listed it as eBay standard envelope because I know it'll fit in an envelope, and so the shipping's $1. So I listed it at $9 with $1 shipping, and I'm going to try to ship it through the eBay standard envelope. I don't know that you can ship car parts through that, but it's actually for lawnmowers, and it's just little seals if you're going to rebuild
Yep.
build the carburetor,
Yep.
right? So it's little thin things. It'll fit right in there. It's got a few little like nuts and bolts in there, and it'll fit. It's less than I measured it. It's less than a quarter inch, so I know I can send it. I'm not sure if you're allowed to, but I'm going to try that, and that way you get tracking, and it's $1.09 up to 3 ounces. And I've found with the cards, even if it weighs less than half an ounce, I always go with the 3 ounce rate because that way it's thicker and they don't, so okay, now I paid $1.09 instead of 67 cents or whatever the small one is. They seem to make it.
Do we need to go boo?
Oh, you need to ask my middle name. Hey, the next time you're with someone that has hiccups, anybody listening, the 14 of you that are paying attention, if you're out, there's more than 14 people here, but at this point, we're what? 40 minutes in, there's probably 14 people left. This works 100% of the time the
If we're
first time.
lucky.
After that, no. But if someone has the hiccups, ask them their middle name. And it goes to the brain in the same part of your brain that you store that is where hiccups come from.
Okay, we'll try that. We'll try
But the
that.
next time somebody has it works once, maybe twice. But my wife gets the hiccups fairly often, and we were at a bar hanging out 10 years ago, and somebody said, "What's your middle name?" And she quit hiccup. It just stopped. And I've done that to 100 people that have hiccups, but it only works like once or twice.
Anyway, I'll invite him on the show if he wants to come. It'd be great publicity for him because, like I said, let me go back to my eBay because I want to. Maybe here's the thing: I don't want anybody to shy away from buying from this guy because, like I said, he is a great guy.
Yeah.
He tried his best, and I think he deserves, and he definitely deserves the money for the item he sold. So I'm going to make sure I get him paid. Let's see, Camshaft 112004 is his name. Now he has positive feedback, 197 items, 100% positive. He's maybe a little further along than I am, but this shipping free stuff and put stamps on it, he needs a better way because
he doesn't, because if
he's got to
one
be
out of
losing
10
money.
disappears and you reship it and the person gets it and they're happy, and you're only spending $1 instead of spending $5.
Yeah, and I get it, but and on something like that, those little things, he's probably got maybe 10, 15 cents in them. That's great, but I disagree with it. I like your idea of doing the eBay shipping.
Yeah, it
Better,
works. I
better than
don't. You're only supposed to use it for like cards and patches and thin things. But if it's thin, and I put that as my shipping method. Now I've done that before by accident. Put media mail, and then I sold something that says you can't use this. I've also done it before and didn't realize it, and then shipped something media mail that was not media. You got to be careful, especially if you're listing a lot. You're going if you're on the phone, once you change to a different kind of shipping method, it just defaults to that over and over again. So you got to pay attention because I had some stuff I had to go back and fix because I was in the middle of doing this and I switched over to that. I did media mail. Then I had 14 things that were media mail that weren't media mail, so I had to switch them back to the right mail.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful. I don't agree with the free shipping model. I know a lot of people are switching over to it. I know that eBay's sending out notifications right now, starting for the holidays, offering free shipping will get you 20% more, whatever. And I know that they're doing that based on the numbers they're getting. But
But that's just a lie, because what you're doing is you're taking your average shipping costs. Say it's $20 to ship it to California and $10 to ship it here, so I'll charge everybody $15. Add $15 to it, so you're screwing some people and you're helping some other people out. It's all built in. Even anybody that's doing free shipping, hopefully they are truly thinking about that. But
he's probably got 10 cents in each one, maybe a little more. We'll get 25 because I've seen them on, if you want to buy 2,500 of them,
yeah,
you can source them out of China for 10 cents at
yeah,
2,500. So it's like what, 250 bucks? So he's getting 2,500 out of China, 250 bucks. He's selling them for a pack of three, $6.50. He's making a good profit margin on them. And if he loses two or three, but the idea would be to figure out a way so that he doesn't lose any. And the thing about it is he's way under all of his competitors, because that's why I chose him. Because I went back to the guy that I normally bought, that I'd bought from in the past, and went and tried to buy from him, and he's jacked the price up sky high. And I was like, look, dude, this is what and it says best offer. I was like, look, this is what I paid you the last three times I bought from you.
yeah,
And he was like, I'm sorry, I can't take that amount anymore. So then I
yeah,
found this
because he's
guy over
losing.
here who's at $6.50 versus $21
That's
for a
crazy.
pack of three of them. And I'm like, you've lost your ever loving mind. $21 from three little rubber caps to go on the end of my air guns. And listen, dude, at $21.95, I can buy two of the air guns I've got because they're just little Brad nailers from,
Yeah,
and literally they're like 20 bucks a piece. So I'm like, you're crazy. I'll just take them off those two cheap tools and throw them before I'll pay that and throw them on my more expensive tools. But this guy was 650, which is more reasonable. Because if you go buy them from Harbor Freight or from Northern Tool or somewhere like that, you're going to pay like $7, $8 for a pack of two.
yeah,
Guy was offering a pack of three for 650. That's a heck of a lot better deal. Heck, I'll
yeah.
take it. That's fine. It didn't work out shipping wise, but I am going to go pay him. But I wanted to again bring that up and caution you folks, and I wanted to talk about this as a tale of thing because he ended up getting his butt in a bind because he
Yeah,
lost that money. Because technically, I could say, I could go, it's already refunded. I don't have to let him know I ever received them because he's got no tracking on them.
I agree,
But
and
now
it's
I'm
been
telling you, don't do that, ladies and gentlemen, because I've been on the wrong end of that before, and karma will come back, and God, karma, whatever you want to call it, the universe is going to kick you right square in the nut sack. And if you say I'm a girl, I don't have a nut sack, you're going to get kicked you know where. If you do that to
hoo-ha.
people, you will get it. It will come back on you. I,
I agree.
I promise you. So I'm going to contact him tonight because I just got it today and let him know and say, hey, look, I'm going to buy it. If you don't have it listed, let me know. I'm going to pay the original price. I ended up getting them today. Once it's paid, I want you to go ahead and mark it shipped and delivered.
So I bought some stuff on eBay. I am getting a new cat, and I needed a collar, and I needed a cat carrier to pick it up. So I bought the cat carrier. So I don't have a cat carrier for the cat. We're gonna go pick it up, and it's an hour away.
Yeah, but didn't you need a cat carrier that's like the size of the rear end of a truck?
Not yet. It's still a kitten, but it's going to be a big cat eventually. But I researched the cat carrier I wanted, and it was $97. So I set an alert up for that cat carrier, and somebody listed one for $40 free shipping. It's really nice. It is a backpack, roller bag, car seat. It is $100 item, but somebody who is an everything seller like me found one at a yard sale, still had the tags on it, and I got it for $40 delivered. So I'm going to share right now.
Let's see this amazing cat carrier.
Oh, I'm not sharing the cat carrier. I'm sharing my cat. Isn't he cute as shit?
It's a good thing you're in Tampa.
Yeah, I'm getting a coon
You don't want to
cat.
go to Springfield, Ohio. I'm sorry, folks. I shouldn't.
It's a cool coon cat. No, there ain't nobody eating my cat, but he's cute. Check him out.
Ain't nobody,
He's kidding.
ain't nobody
I
eating my
can't even
cat.
pick him up. He was born in September, and he's already that big. How are you? Is it born in August?
Gosh.
It's
Okay.
gonna be a big cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a coon cat?
That's gonna eat.
Very,
That's gonna eat your dog.
no, that cat's huge. It will get huge. It's not huge yet, but it'll get to be about 30 pounds. It'll be a massive cat. I'm gonna start sharing the cat. My other cat was just in here, Merlot, but
Merlot. His cats are named after wines, ladies and gentlemen.
we got Merlot and Mr. Gray,
Merlot and Mr. Gray. What are you gonna name this one?
Smoky.
Smoky.
And because he's a registered cat, you can't just have one name, so we had to name him Sir Smoky. Sir Smoky. He's cool, man.
And you're gonna be calling him sir when he's standing over you.
The crazy thing is, I don't have a job, and I spent $3,000 on the cat,
Oh my god!
and that was the deal.
All right. What are we up to now? Are we up to eBay news? Is that what we're up to? I think we're up to eBay news, aren't we?
We are probably at this point. I do have some news for you guys. So, one of the things I read this week was sellers are leery of eBay changes to the feedback DSR, detail seller ratings, right? So, if you go in there and look at them, they've changed the labels. So, the label used to be item description, it's now accurate description. It used to be shipping time, it's now shipping speed. The concern is they've changed these verbiages so that way they can now hold us to a different performance metric standard. Nothing has been communicated to us, nothing has changed, but it seems weird that they change those to a different verbiage if they don't have a reason for doing it. Keep your eye out, look at the next fall update,
I'm gonna
and
I'm
keep
gonna weigh
watching
in there.
closely because it might actually become something different,
I'm
right?
gonna weigh in there because there's been a complaint for a while. And we knew that as resellers, guys. If you're an experienced reseller watching this, then you knew this little loophole. If you're a non-experienced reseller, you should have known about this loophole, but if you didn't, you're learning about it now. But it's called the ship date resell loophole. So, in other words, somebody pays for it, you got 3 days shipping. You go ahead and print the label, or say you've printed a label and save it on your computer, and then print it later and get it packaged up later and then send it out later. And what's happening is that loophole, because the system automatically defaults. Okay, so the item I sold today, I will go ahead and pack it down tonight and get it ready to go. And it will
Yeah.
literally say shipped on 9/15, which we're recording this here on Sunday 9/15. It's going to come out much later, ladies and gentlemen. We ship ahead of time or record ahead of time and edit. Everybody does that, but it's going to say shipped on 9/15, and then eBay doesn't track it anymore until a complaint comes in. They actually don't let you complain until it's been 7 days past. I didn't know this, but they don't let you, because I was doing some research. They don't let
That's
you
smart.
complain as a buyer until it's been 7 days past. So technically, it'll be 9/22 before the buyer can complain that, hey, I haven't. This was supposed to be shipped. It's not.
There's
It's
no
tracked.
movement.
There's no movement. There's no tracking. There's no nothing. And eBay will go, oh, okay, let us investigate. And the way eBay's policy works is then they contact the seller, and the seller goes, oh, I forgot. I'm putting it in the mail here. I'll provide proof of whatever because there's tracking number. And so you go put it in the next day or within 2 days because they give you 72 hours. So now instead of that shipping out in a 3 day rule or the 1 day rule or whatever rule you've got, it's now been 10 days. And now it can take a while for it to get through, and so eBay, I'm betting, since there's been a lot of complaints about that, and I've been reading a lot of complaints about it, I bet this is eBay's going to remetric this. I bet you're right. And they're going to say, okay, if it says 3 days, it has to have movement in 3 days.
Living up to your commitment. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
if they buy it on Friday, you should ship it out on Monday if it's a 3 day commitment. You should. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. It shouldn't be, oh, I'll print the label or I'll go ahead and cash out the label and then I'll come back and print it later. Don't do that. And I noticed too, they a few months ago, and this is not news, a few months ago they started letting you actually rate sellers. You don't just give feedback anymore. You can get feedback, and then you might get a survey. Because I got one on Ben's when I bought an item from him that said, and it gives you 5 categories. It's not something brand new. It's been around for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
It gives you 5 categories, and you get rated 1 through 5 on it.
Is that why my shipping went down?
You're not for me. I gave you all fives, buddy.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm setting it 5.5, 4.95 on all of it. But
Me too. And it's the shipping that gets you every
yeah,
time.
that's what
People
got me. It was
complain that
4.9 with
unreasonable shipping. Look, I am giving 30% back of what eBay would charge you. I don't know what else I can do.
mine was unreasonable shipping cost. It wasn't unreasonable
Exact
shipping time, it was unreasonable shipping cost. I'm like,
cost. That's what mine was.
hey, uh,
Yeah, I ain't got no
I'm
control over
running a
that.
discount. I'm not giving you 30% back. I'm giving you 10 or 15 depending upon the item. But that's just what it is. eBay started that, and I bet this thing you're talking about here with the news here, I bet they are going to change the metrics.
All right. So the next one is Amazon. So Amazon's asking sellers to offer a discount for its October Prime Big Day Deal Day. So I guess they're actually going to do another Prime Day, but not a real Prime Day. They're actually asking the people that are selling on there to do discounts so that way they can give to their masses.
And some of them are doing it too. I just got an
Yeah.
email. Some of the sellers I bought from in the past are doing it, and I've looked. They've got an item I've been eyeballing. They're doing it to a lot of people, and I even heard that they were going to do some forced ones.
Yeah. Well, no, basically they're saying, hey, you got to give a discount to be a part of this. The promotion will be rescheduled or canceled by Amazon at any time if you decide not to. Amazon describes the sale as a holiday kickoff event with early access to holiday deals, significant discounts. So if you want to be a part of their big sale in October, they did a webinar on September 12th, which was a few days ago, talking to their sellers and saying, hey, you have to do a massive discount for us to use you during this thing. So additionally, Amazon reported that its fastest Prime Day delivery speed this year, and they want to make sure that they're sending them in so that way they can get them out to the people quickly. So
What I'm saying is, I heard that or was watching one video where they read a letter they got from Amazon just recently, back on
that's
like
probably the letter.
908. And to
Hmm.
this seller, basically, they said, we are going to discount this listing of items in your store,
Yeah,
and you're going to take the discount, you're going to eat it, or your store is going to be delisted
exactly.
from our platform. And he was like, what the crap? I can't afford to take some of these discounts that they're wanting me to take.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're asking their people to say, hey, we're going to do a deal in October. They want a second Prime Day because the last Prime Day was a super success, and they want to make more money, and that's what they're about, right? Is making money,
I'm not
and
going
not
to knock
just
Amazon.
putting it on the backs of their sellers, not on the backs of themselves. To
Right.
say, hey, we're going to give a 10% discount, but we'll eat that and we'll still pay your amount. That's what they should do.
Yeah, but what they actually said in that letter, and you can go watch. I wish I could put a link to it, but you can go watch it on YouTube. What they actually did to him was he was not a choice. My understanding is some sellers are getting choice. He's not getting a choice on these particular items. They are
Well, it makes sense because on there, you don't have your own. You don't have your own listing like you do on eBay, where you fill out all the stuff and you make your own listing. What you do is you hop on the listing of the item of whatever it is. So if you're selling the cup, if they're selling the cup for $8, whether you want to sell it for 32 or not, you're going to sell it for $8 or you're not going to sell it. That's the way it works.
well. And the other thing that I was saying is, according to the letter, they're forcing him to do this, or he'll be delisted. He has an option to close his store, and they will ship back his items that are at the Amazon warehouse for a fee. So he has to pay to get them back, or he can go along with it. And here's the kicker: they're going to charge their fees off the original listing price.
That's crazy, man. That's why I'm not an Amazon seller.
Amazon opens you up to a whole different ballgame, a whole different world, a whole different buyer. Most
Yeah.
of us probably buy things on Amazon from time to time, but the big Amazon buyer, shopper on Amazon, they're a different person than what's buying on eBay. They're a totally different mentality for the most part. And these sellers and buyers on there, they're at the mercy. This is like Walmart versus, did to their vendors started 20 years ago. And Amazon now has gotten big enough to where they are going to do the same.
No, when I worked for Test Right, which is a corporation I work for in California, they were trying to get into the Amazon world. They sold to Amazon. They shipped a lot of stuff there, but they tried to ship from their building. And I don't know how many times they had to relaunch their web store because something went wrong. And once you get so much negative on Amazon, they just suppress your store.
Yeah.
regardless of what you're selling, you're willing to sell it for whatever it is. But if you have a few things that fall out of the time frame, and one of the problems we ran into there was the holidays, where we shut the building down for the holidays, but Amazon didn't recognize the holiday. So we ended up having to bring in people to work on holidays just so we could keep up the metric for the Amazon store portion.
I
So
won't sell on Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. I may at some point, but right now I would not, and especially not. I
yeah, if
disagree
I
with
was
some
going
of
to
the
sell on
things.
Amazon, I would do fulfilled by Amazon. I'd just ship my stuff to them and let them ship it and not have to worry
Yeah,
about
but
it.
the whole idea that if you want to close your store, that's fine. If you don't want to do this, you can close your store. You can do as you're
Yeah,
told and lose money, or you can, or we'll ship you your stuff back a fee.
yeah. So why
He said,
get it back?
besides
Just
my
lose
shipping,
money.
he said, I might as well just give it to them.
Yeah,
He said,
eat it.
there's the problem with this news that you're facing right here. I'm not saying don't go sell on Amazon. Just be careful because we talk about how bad eBay can be at times. The whole idea that they're making record profits because they've increased their promotional ads and all this, that, and the other. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got an article about eBay that we'll talk about. That's
Okay.
not the
Let's
next,
go.
but the one after that, talking about that. But this one is eBay good thing, right? eBay invites Canadian sellers to apply for Entrepreneur of the Year award. So if you're in Canada and you're watching us, you should probably look into this. So eBay in Canada is offering $25,000 in grants to its annual Entrepreneur of the Year.
Wow.
So apply for that. If you get it, you'll get $25,000 in grants.
Now, is that 25,000 Canadian?
Yes.
So that's 5,000 US. Gotcha. Uh,
No, no,
sorry, Canadian. Sorry. That was a little
I
bit of
don't think it's that low. But hey, there also are, if you apply and you don't win the Entrepreneur of the Year, there are micro rewards that you can win of the year,
right.
which is $5,000 Canadian for sellers who successfully have used eBay to reach a global customer base. There is Emerging E-commerce Entrepreneur of the Year, which is 5,000 Canadian dollars for sellers who have integrated e-commerce as a new sales channel with significant success. There's also Small Town Seller of the Year for 5,000 Canadian dollars for sellers outside Canada's major cities that's helping bring the rural small
Pretty
town
cool.
business to online. You know what? If you are a Canadian, you should probably try for that.
Definitely look into this.
Yeah.
Awesome. And guys, if you're in
Yeah.
Canada, sorry, I was going to say if you're
You're
Canadian,
in Canada.
if you're in Canada, if you're in Canada, you should definitely look into this. That's awesome. That's some good news.
The prerequisites are you have to have sold at least $10,000 this year and listed at least 10 items per month on eBay, and maintained a positive feedback rating of 98% or higher. So if you have and you are Canadian, go for it. I think it's a great thing.
I do too, actually. All right, so now our next piece of news. And then we got one item we did miss, which was anything we've learned this week. And we'll finish on that. But
We'll
let's
get
go.
on that. We'll get that. But
Yeah, let's
yeah,
get
yeah, we did. See, we got ourselves out of sequence.
that. We did, but let's go ahead and finish up our news hour.
Okay, so I was on a website called seekingalpha.com, which was I wasn't on that website, but I was looking for eBay news and I found it on that website. Excuse me. eBay, the most profitable but nearly forgotten online retailer, is not a buy anymore. So they're saying that the stock, you should let it go. So this is like a stock place. I saw things that were really interesting. For first of all, the active user base is going down. You don't hear that, right? So if you hear they say, "Hey, I got 132 million buyers," that's what their last yearly annual report says. But when you dig into it, in 2014 they had 155 million. 2005 they had 162, 2016 167, 2017 170, 2018 179, 2019 180, 2020 185. Since then it's dropped. 2021 147, 2022 135, 2023 132. What they're saying is eBay is a dinosaur of retailing. Even though the company's growing, it's losing its customer base. Stock has been strong since 2015, but mainly due to aggressive buybacks, not reality.
Hmm.
So it's all about eBay stock seems to be more of a melting iceberg than a premium stock to buy. I've not seen anything like that about eBay saying, hey, you need to not do this. It's all been positive. But that was an interesting take on eBay that, hey, it's falling apart.
See, and I would question that. I understand investing in a stock, and that's fine. I wonder too how those stats are stacking up. I would question that, and here's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen. Coming over from the advisor world and still working in somewhat of it, here's a big kicker. About 10 years ago, eBay started this thing where they began, and it really started with the whole set of tariffs and Chinese stuff and kickback and import deficits and all that stuff. And they started setting up, and you can go back and look at this, they started setting up websites in other countries. So there's these different factions of eBay. And so I wonder how much of their original 180 million buyers are still
Yeah.
they're still eBay buyers, but now they're over here in a different conundrum that maybe they can't count the same. I don't know. I would question that, but I also know
It's
that
still 132 million people
right,
buying stuff on eBay.
right.
So regardless, all these other platforms that have started are babies compared to that. So maybe it is on the downward trend, although it is now starting to pick up with the younger generation. I think that'll start growing again. I don't think it's not dead. And honestly, before I started selling on eBay a few years ago, if somebody would have said to me, "Hey, you can sell stuff on eBay," I'm like, I haven't done that since the '90s and the early 2000s. So people are still doing eBay. I didn't realize it was as big as it is.
Well,
So
and
I
here
think I think it's jaded, and I do think maybe their stock is overrated. Don't invest in their stock, but I
well,
don't know.
well, let's think about this too, because okay, so eBay was one of the dot com babies.
Yeah.
It survived the dot com crash of 99. And it's interesting that in the last 2 years, and I was looking at this on Facebook Marketplace, they were talking about the largest segment growing of groups on Facebook and Facebook Marketplace has been yard sale groups. So you tell me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't want to argue with this article. I think maybe their stock is overrated. I've not looked at it. I couldn't tell you. I'm not giving any stock advice here. I don't know. I've not researched it. That could be. They could be wrong. They could be right. But I think 132 million is significant, and I think you're going to see eBay grow over the next 5 years because it is funny now to listen to Gen Z guys and gals talk or whatever they are, whatever they identify as. Let's really be specific with Gen Z, whatever they identify with,
Oh
whatever.
yeah. If you look up like reselling, like you look at the reselling, what's the annual growth of reselling? The annual growth of reselling going forward is expected to be 4.8% from 2024 to 2030. So what we're doing is expected to grow almost 5% over the next 6 years.
I do think you're going to see a lot of that significant growth, though, ladies and gentlemen. I will say this: I think you're going to see a lot of that significant growth on some of the other platforms.
But yeah, I don't know where it's going to happen.
I
You know,
think I've been looking strongly at Macari.
we listed
I
everything I had on Macari.
think Macari is going to experience a tremendous amount of growth in the next few years. I think that as far
I don't know that it is. I haven't sold anything on Macari in 2.5 months, so I delisted everything, and I'm starting over.
I think they're gonna expand. I think Bonanza's got a decent little platform. I don't know. They're forgotten too. eBay's the big
Yeah.
giant in it.
It is a giant by far over everything else. So to say that they're a dinosaur makes no sense.
But I think it's like Walmart. Walmart's not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I
They're
agree.
not going anywhere. Doesn't matter. They're not going anywhere. And I don't think eBay is either. But anyway, so any more news? Is that all our news?
I got one more,
All right, let's speed
which
this
is
up.
just has nothing to do with it. Has to do with reselling, but it really doesn't.
We need to speed. We need to pick this up.
An article I saw about I sold everything I owned on eBay to buy a deserted island in the Caribbean, and I have no regrets. So it's just an article about this guy, Ian Usher. He's a British entrepreneur who sold everything he had so that he would have £200,000 to buy this island. So he sold everything he owned in the world on eBay and bought this island, and now he's been living on it for 11 years.
Hmm.
and they did a documentary on Channel 5 in England and talked about what he did. And it was just really cool to see that the guy's, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. He sold everything off in 2015, so 7 years,
I'm
and traveled
thinking
there,
I might do
bought
that.
an island. And 200,000 pounds isn't that much for an island.
Yeah, but I might do that, ladies and gentlemen. I might have some other stuff I've not listed yet that I'll be listening to buy me an island. So
Yeah, so he grew his own food. He just moved out there. He just sold everything he had, bought an island, moved on the island, and did his life there. And they made a documentary about him. So I'd like to see that
sounds
documentary.
like a plan. Sounds like a
Yeah,
plan.
yeah,
All
he's
right. We're going to have to, even though we didn't get to one of our segments of what we learned this week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to cut it off here because in my world, eBay reselling is important. My work is important. eBay selling is rewarding, but I work to live. I don't live to work.
I agree.
Ladies and
So
gentlemen,
pay attention next week. We're going to have a. I reached out way too late, but we should have the Beard King picker, I think, here next week.
sweet.
Friend of mine I met at the 127 sale. He's on the Reseller Locker Room podcast, and hopefully I can work that out and get him here next week. We're going to start trying to have more people, so that way it's not just the two of us rambling on, and we want to know more about how they made it, where they made it to.
Sound like a plan. So we might have another guru coming on here to speak.
Yes.
And of course, Mike, you're welcome anytime, buddy. Let us know. We'd love to have you back again as well.
Yeah. So if you are watching us, go look at the Reseller Network. Reseller Locker Room is what it is. I said the wrong thing. The Reseller Locker Room. Mike is on there this week, and it was good. It's a good watch.
Go, Mike. He was on us first, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, but keeps thanking us. He's like, yeah, he gave me the confidence to go.
He did
Mike,
great.
you don't need the confidence from us. You're a good dude. You got to just hang out, man. You're good.
And we're going to try, like I said, we've been talking about getting some other guests on here, ladies and gentlemen. Ben's
Yeah, we got to work on that.
a little more connected in this arena, but yeah, we definitely want to have some different flavors for you because just listen to us. I think you get a lot, but there are some guys who are killing it and just absolutely not looking back. And if
Yeah,
you can get
yeah. My pittance of $600 a week, which is impressive to me, and you're $250, which is awesome for you,
it,
is nothing
nothing,
compared to what these other people
yeah.
are doing. You just need to get into this and try, and you can work. It'll work out. All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Each and every one of you for taking the time to spend with us again this morning, at noon, this afternoon, or evening. We love the fact that you're here. We'll keep trying to make these out for you. If you have any suggestions on topics or anything you'd like for us to discuss, of course, drop us an email at cjbensfinds@gmail.com.
Yes.
Benz will be glad to respond and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Till next time, thank you.
See ya.